What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for June 11th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of the podcast. Happy Humpday to everyone out there. Schools are ending. That means you're taking a trip to the Jersey Shore. Nobody likes to start their vacation off stressed. Let Beach Caddy take the stress out of your Jersey Shore vacation. If you're in Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, or Wildwood, let them take the stuff from your car, move it into your place at the end of the week, move it out, put it back in your car. They also have the best beach carts on the Jersey Shore. Nice, big, inflatable wheels. Move across the sand with ease. Beach Caddy takes the stress out of your Jersey Shore vacation. Use the promo code JIMBO to take 10% off of your order. Let them move in, move out. 10% off of your bellhop service is what they call it. It's the move in, move out, and then 10% off your beach cart rental. Use that promo code JIMBO. Let Beach Caddy take the stress out of your vacation. BeachCaddy.app in Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, and Wildwood. These guys are the best of Philly. They've been on Channel 6. Great company. Takes it and really, like, truthfully, nobody wants, after sitting in traffic, to get all hot and sweaty. You want to go and start enjoying your vacation. Let Beach Caddy move you in, move you out, rent a beach cart, and take the stress out. Use the promo code JIMBO for 10% off of your order. Speaking of stress, though, man, Phillies just not a good game yesterday. Actually, let me take that back. Mick Abel pitched. He was okay. Wasn't as great as he was. Gave up a few home runs. Did battle back, and we saw glimpses of what could have been, but certainly not as good as his first couple starts. I don't know if it's a good thing, but he will get some extended time here in the rotation, as Aaron Nola had a setback on his return, as he has pain in his side. I don't know if it's a strained, like, oblique or what. So we'll see what happens. But 8-4, Phils lose. The bullpen just imploded. Taiwan wasn't good. Joe Ross wasn't good. Truthfully, Kyle Schwarber, everybody talks about how great he is in June. He hasn't done shit in June. I don't know. And if this was just like a standalone game and we weren't coming off the losing streak, we haven't lost 10 out of our last 12, maybe you just chalk this up. Cubs are first place team. You're going to have this. But they need to come back today and win. Luzardo's on the mound. Hopefully he figured out whatever he was doing with tipping his pitches. But this team is in trouble. Like I said, I mean, they battled back, but they wasted opportunities like they have been. They had plenty of opportunities to knock guys in, and they're just not getting it done. I don't know. I mean, there's so many holes. Not sure if they need to make a move now, let it play out more, start bringing up some of these young guys. You saw Boston brought up their top prospect. I don't know. I mean, they have maybe wild card aspirations, but maybe bring these guys up and just let them play. The Phillies seem to historically do that with a lot of their prospects. They hold on to them when they shouldn't. They keep them in the minors. Look at what happened to Ryan Howard. For years, we could have gotten better. But no, Don Brown is the answer. And Don Brown basically had a good 6-week stretch. So I don't know what the answer is. I just know the way things are going. I don't know. But they're back at it today, looking to win this series against the Cubs. The old business person special. 1 o'clock start today. Haven't heard any updates, but Brandon Marsh left the game with an elbow injury. Slid. It was weird. He slid into second on the stolen base, but it was his arm that it looked like it almost got caught in the dirt. So we'll see. I mean, just added to the litany of issues that this team has right now. But not a good loss for the Phils, 8-4. In a game that they had the lead late and the bullpen just self-destructed on them, which has been the case a lot this year. Hopefully they're able to bounce back. But let me know, what do they do? Is it now the time to make a move where you're probably going to overpay? Is it a better time to make a move now because not as many people are inquiring? Let it ride. Call up some more of the young guys. Otto Kemp has been a breath of fresh air. Hopefully that will start to continue to spread to the rest of the guys. No word on Bryce. He might be out months. Just not a good time in Philly land right now. But hopefully they can take this series this afternoon against the Cubs. Remember they used to call them that, the business person special, the old getaway day game before a road trip or whatever it was. But the Mellon PFSS or PFS, whatever it is, business person special. All fans, whatever. Anyway, enough about the Phillies. Let's do some quick housekeeping. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mott on Twitter and TikTok. On Instagram, @PhillyJimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. The YouTube channel is Jimbo_Mott. It all goes into the algorithm and helps us grow. Now that my school year has winded down, no more teachers, I'm on summer hours. Lots more time to try to get some things done. So really going to work hard on kind of tweaking and getting things set up this summer as we approach what should be an exciting Eagle season. As a reminder, starting after this weekend, no more weekend shows. We're going to a Monday through Friday format. That'll help open up some time to do some of those fun stuff like interviews during the Eagles pregame show this fall. So stay tuned for that. Tuesday Positivity and Motivation is not going anywhere. Lots of folks commented yesterday really saying, wow, just thinking about just a little preposition change can really change your outlook on things. So that's staying. Fridays with AI, of course, is staying. I'll add some things for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Hopefully start working on that stuff this week and can kind of give you an idea. Like, I haven't mapped out, but I'll give you an idea later this week on what to expect with that. And also, if you want to see highlights, all my social media has them, including Facebook and LinkedIn. Hit me up there. Come to the Discord channel for a chat. Everything you need is all in one-stop shop for this day in Philly sports history. So come over, check it out, see some highlights, participate in the Discord channel. I've been having some great chats in there about the Phillies woes and trivia and things like that. So go to the Discord. It's the first link in the description. And then summer is here. Get your 3D custom hype chain. These things are great for fantasy football, youth sports, a lot of travel tournaments going on right now. Swim seasons are starting at the outdoor pools. Great for bachelor parties, gag gifts, you name it. These things are awesome. Very meticulous artwork. Everything is custom made. So go to lotwin.com. Send them what your idea is and let them help you work through it as you get your 3D custom hype chain. Get hype and use the promo code TCCPOD for 10% off of your order. All right, speaking of trivia, yesterday I asked you, which team did Mike Schmidt have the most career home runs against? This was a lot. We had a good discussion about this. A lot of people said the Expos, and that was my first choice. Due to the fact that he just seemed like he dominated the Expos. I believe he has the most home runs ever at Olympic Stadium. But the Expos are, in fact, the team he hit the third most home runs against with 57. It was the Chicago Cubs. And thinking about it makes sense. Always seemed like he hit a home run out at Wrigley Field. 78 of his 548 home runs happened against the Cubs. Pirates were second with 62. Followed by the Expos, the Reds, and then the Mutts. So thank you for everybody. Like I said, we had a good discussion about that yesterday. We'll have another trivia question here later in the show. Some Eagles news. They finished up minicamp yesterday. Not a whole lot came out of that. It seemed like Keely Ringo had a good day. He's kind of vying to be the starting corner on the other side of Quinyon. But my takeaway from even the interviews and everything, Steam seems focused. And that, to me, was the biggest question mark going into this season was obviously there's questions on the defensive and offensive side. But just how can Nick Sirianni and will these guys be as focused as they were last year? And, I mean, it's easy to say the right thing, but it just seems like especially the way they reacted after the Super Bowl where AJ's like, time to get back to work. Devontae was just like, okay, we won the Super Bowl. What's next? And I think that it's hard to have that because it would have been very easy for all of them to just party and celebrate during the offseason, kind of similar to what the Eagles did in 2017. But it does look like this team is focused and ready to defend the crown. So sign me up. I'm all in for it. And then, of course, there was the announcement that Jeff Lurie, I love this, by the way, Jeff Lurie donated $50 million to open up a autism wing at the University of Pennsylvania. I guess it's going to be a combo, University of Pennsylvania and CHOP, but great move by Lurie. Obviously, the Eagles Autism Foundation raises a lot of money for autism awareness and acceptance, and to have this opening up and the Luries being a big part of that, I think is incredible. So kudos to you, Jeffrey, for donating money for a great cause and to just bring more acceptance to autism and the people that work with helping, just like I said, bring the awareness, bring the acceptance to it, and to have this right there in Philadelphia is amazing. All right, June 11th, kind of a mixed bag day for the Phils. As I mentioned, we're slowly getting into that time of the year where it's all going to be all Phillies all the time, and hopefully some of these will help ease the pain of what the real team is doing right now. But first, we're going to go back to 1985, and perhaps the greatest offensive day in the history of the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies beat the Mets 26-7 on this day. They scored 9 runs in the first inning, 7 in the second, and just cruised to the easy victory. Notable in this game was in the first inning, though. Von Hayes led off the game with a homer on the first pitch of the game. Came up later in the inning and hit a grand slam. Ended his day 3 for 6 with 6 RBI. Became the 21st player in Major League history to hit 2 home runs in the same inning. The first to ever do it in the first inning. Now, back to the Phillies' offensive explosion this day. The 26 runs were a modern team record for runs scored in a game. They scored 26 once back in the 1800s. They hit 10 doubles, which is also, or at the time, was a team record, which has since been broken. Ironically, it was broken the next year by the Phillies. 3 of those doubles were by Bo Diaz. Tied a team record for hits in a game. And just, it could be the greatest offensive day in the history of the Phillies, all led by Von Hayes, who hit 2 home runs in the first inning, including a grand slam. And Von Hayes is an interesting character in Philly sports history. And obviously, Mr. 5 for 1 never really lived up to those expectations. Not sure if it was necessarily his fault or not. I feel Von Hayes was sort of expected to do more because of the 5 players. However, it wasn't his fault. They just overvalued him. He would have been a good piece on a team with a couple other stars, and kind of brought him in as the heir apparent to Mike Schmidt. They had some good years together. But a guy like Von Hayes, I think, would be good on this particular Phillies team. I've heard various reports that maybe Von wasn't the nicest guy, so that probably plays a role into it as well. But if you look at that trade, 5 players for Von Hayes, there was some already established major leaguers in there, but they were just role players, bench players at best. The only guy in that trade who had a better career than Von Hayes was Julio Franco. And I don't know if the Phillies would have hung on to Julio Franco. Had they hung on to him for his entire career, maybe it would have changed the trajectory of the team. But Julio Franco bouncing around to a bunch of different teams. So, I don't know. That's my little Von Hayes rant. Kind of one of the poster children of the ineptitude of those teams. But wasn't necessarily his fault. He didn't trade himself for 5 players. And later this month, I'll get into the ineptitude of the front offices of our major teams. But on this day, Phillies with perhaps the greatest offensive display in their team's history, beating the Mets 26-7, 9 runs in the first inning, including 2 home runs by Von Hayes, becoming the first ever player to hit 2 home runs in the first inning. And then fast forward 5 years to 1990. Phillies were playing the Expos in a doubleheader at the Vet. Coming into the game, Lenny Dykstra was hitting .407 and riding a 23-game hitting streak. The longest he had gone in to the season hitting .400. I remember this was a huge story at the time because once you get into like mid-June and a player is still hitting .400, you're off to a pretty good start to the season. Unfortunately for Lenny and the Phillies, he went 0 for 8 in both games, 0 for 3 in the first, 0 for 5 in the second. Phillies lost both games 5-0 and 3-2. Lenny left the game hitting .392, never got back to .400, and did lead the league for most of the July and August in batting, and then kind of really came back down to earth. Ended up finishing 4th in the National League in batting average that year. Willie McGee, who was traded to the Oakland Athletics that summer, ended up winning the National League batting crown, playing in the American League, but winning the National League batting crown. Lenny finished behind Willie, Dave Magadan, and Eddie Murray. He ended up hitting .328 that year. Did lead the league in hits and go to an All-Star game. And a little quick side note on this doubleheader happened on the same day that Nolan Ryan pitched his 6th no-hitter at 44 years old. So pretty cool day in Major League Baseball history for Nolan, not so much for the Phils, but they lose both games of a doubleheader. Lenny dips below .400 and never got back there as he finished 4th in the batting chase. That does lead to today's trivia question, though. Phillies have led the league in batting 9 times. Who are the 7 players that have won a batting title in Phillies history? 2 of them obviously did it twice. That is today's trivia question. Hit me up on the Discord channel. Hit me up on social media. The Back to the Future voice and text line, 267-495-8531. Let me know which 7 Phillies have led the league in batting average throughout their careers. 2 of them did it twice. Be sure to check out my friends over at the Clashing Conferences Network. Great things happening on their Sports Fan Network. Go to clashingconferences.com. See how you can join, become involved, get your voice heard. And if you're in need of media services, they can help you out there as well. New podcasts drop on Thursday and Friday. But clashingconferences.com. Join their Sports Fan Network. Be a part of it and get your voice heard. And then, of course, still not too late for Father's Day. My shirts were delayed, so hopefully they're coming today. But Philly Goat has you covered for Father's Day. Don't forget about Dad. They have a whole Father's Day collection to go along with all the other great shirts they have. They have the canvas loafers, the slides, backpack coolers, duffel bag coolers, Philly Fanatic rocks glasses, golf shirts, you name it. Philly Fanatic has you covered for Father's Day. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. And don't forget about Dad. And then finally today, our greatest individual season in Philly sports history tournament continues. First, yesterday, we had an Eagles Region matchup. The number 8 seed, Terrell Owens from 2004, defeated the number 9 seed, Randall Cunningham from 1990 with 67% of the vote. Hard to argue that one, to be honest. Very hard to argue because T.O., if he did not get hurt by that horse collar, may have been up there with Saquon Barkley's season with the Eagles last year. But thank you to everyone who voted. We will have another Eagles matchup in 3 days. But today we go to the Phillies region. And this should be an interesting one. This is a battle of MVP seasons. You have the number 5 seed, Jimmy Rollins, taking on the number 12 seed, Bryce Harper. And the number 5 seed, Jimmy Rollins, his 2007 season started off with a bang, proclaimed in spring training that the Phillies were the team to beat in the NL East, and then went out, played all 162 games, hit .296, 30 homers, 94 RBI, led the league with 30 triples, scored 139 runs, which also led the league, added 41 stolen bases. Of course, he won a Gold Glove because he was just that good of a fielder, winning the MVP award. However, did not make the All-Star team that year. Jose Reyes and J.J. Hardy were the National League's shortstops, all-star shortstops that year. But Jimmy got the last laugh as he was able to catch Jose Reyes' Mets and win the MVP. That season, Jimmy became the 7th player to hit 20 homers, 20 doubles, and 20 triples in a season. Phillies would chase down the Mets and win the division before getting bounced by the Rockies in the divisional playoff. But the number 5 seed, Jimmy Rollins, in 2007, takes on the number 12 seed, Bryce Harper. This was the year after COVID, his 2021 season where he won the MVP, hit 309, 35 homers, 85 RBI, led the league in doubles with 42, led the league in slugging at 615, led the league in OPS 1.044. Phillies, though, went 82 and 80, finished second place in the National League, and it went right down to the wire. I remember I was in Florida, staying on vacation with my wife, my cousin, and his wife, and we were staying with or not staying, but at the same hotel. There was a guy from Atlanta who was a hardcore Braves fan, and I remember that series, the Phillies, I think, got swept, or at least lost 2 out of 3 to the Braves, and that kind of propelled the Braves to the top of the division, or maybe it was a wild card. Either way, but Bryce Harper's 2021 season is the 12 seed, taking on the number 5 seed, Jimmy Rollins, from 2007. Now it's your turn. Which season was better? Jimmy Rollins' MVP season in 2007 or Bryce Harper's MVP season in 2021? Get your vote in on any of my social media, the Discord channel, the Back to the Future voice and text line. Let's have some fun with this today. Let's debate 2 MVP seasons in Phillies history. On this day back in 1990, Lenny Dykstra dipped below 400 for the first time, or for the last time in the season, en route to hitting 328. Phillies lose both games of a doubleheader to the Expos. And then in 1985, the greatest offensive explosion in Phillies team history, they beat the Mutts 26-7, scoring 9 runs in the first behind 2 first-inning home runs by Von Hayes, including a grand slam. Trivia question of the day: which 7 Phillies have led the league in batting average at the end of the season? Get your answers in for that. We'll have more Eagles news as it comes. The old business person special today. Can the Phillies beat the Cubs and take that? I believe this is a huge game for standings too, because I think the Phillies won 2 or 3 in Chicago. So if they can win this, they'd have the tiebreaker over the Cubs. Not with the way they've been playing, though, like it would really matter. But, hey, maybe Luzardo figured it out. Let's hope. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for June 11th, 2025. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a hump day. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.